Right, lovely to see you all. So just a few minutes, if you'd be kind enough to indulge me, on some of the plans around the restructuring of our Archdeaconry boundaries. Those of you who've been around for a little while will know that we were at one stage a diocese of 3 archdeaconries. When I applied for this job that I now hold in 2009, you had just completed a review in this diocese to move from 3 archdeaconries down to 2. I'm delighted to say I've been long enough in post to see you change your minds and put it back up to 3 again. But we have for some time now been 3 archdeaconries, with Ipswich being a single deanery archdeaconry, partly as a response to the funding package from the Strategic Development Fund. And so we are really clear that actually the diocese functions best with 3 archdeaconries and, not least, 3 archdeacons. You are much blessed, if I may say so. So clearly we need, if we're going to have 3 archdeaconries with 3 archdeacons, we need to think about how that's going to look like on the ground, and a single deanery archdeaconry isn't going to be, as it were, a long-term solution to how we do our mission and ministry. So there have been a number of consultations already taking place. The 3 of us, the archdeacons, Sam, Rich and myself, have met with those deaneries who are most likely to be affected. You can do the geography yourselves, and if your deanery is to be affected potentially, you'll have already been spoken to. But we have had conversations with some of the neighbouring deaneries, and we are now having conversations with some of the other deaneries who might be less affected, but for whom some of the benefices in their archdeaconry might be affected. Does that make sense? Shall I just say it again? So, for example, and I hope Hadley will forgive me, in my patch, Hadley is clearly a deanery with whom we need to have a conversation, and we have had that conversation. Sam and I met with the standing committee and had a conversation about how that might look. There are other deaneries in my patch which abut onto Ipswich Deanery, Archdeaconry at the moment, for whom some of the benefices might be engaged in a conversation about moving across into a new Ipswich Archdeaconry. When I say new, I'm conscious that one already exists, and there is an Archdeacon of Ipswich quite clearly before us. But there is a process of reimagining what that might look like. That will affect not only, of course, that archdeaconry, but the other 2 archdeaconries of Sudbury and Suffolk, as we too try to reimagine what it might be like to have a different configuration. So at the moment we are in a process of consultation. I know change is always challenging. When I first arrived here, I also had Samford in my patch, and sadly had to say goodbye to them shortly after my arrival. And that was quite difficult, I recognise that. And some of you may mourn the loss of your present archdeacon as you move away. Some of you may rejoice and thank the angels in heaven. The timetable is, hopefully, the plan is that by the end of the year, 2026, we will be in a position to ask the bishop to consider issuing a bishop's pastoral order. This is a slightly lower form of legal permission giving than a scheme, and so it makes the whole thing slightly easier. So we will, in November, be giving our results from the consultations, our own thoughts about what might work best, and then Bishop Joanne needs to make a decision about what the bishop's pastoral order might and then entail. Whatever the outcome is, we are really clear that we need to mark this transition point, this inflection point, with a series of celebrations, partings in some cases, and welcomes in other cases. So it's really important that we honour the relationships that have been, and we look forward to the relationships that are then forming and what lies ahead. So I think by the beginning of 2027, the newly formed archdeaconries should have a strong sense of what they're going to look like and what the future might look like.